from New York. It's a show that got a talking to this morning.
Here's the other thing. Brew, I didn't even include this piece of it. I want what's best for the show, and I told him, in all seriousness, I'm not built to be the likable.
That's true.
But the show's got to have somebody.
He's like, dude, you can't be unlikable.
You can't.
Just because I'm mentioning.
I'm
not even mentioning it.
The show.
Just because I'm surfacing the idea that Drake Maye might play okay against this Seattle team, that we might get to 20 points.
That's not
just
what you're
like,
surfacing.
I don't know, Phillip Rivers almost did. And that maybe, just maybe, the Patriots defense will be able to shut down Sam Darnold, just like the Colts did. That's all I'm saying. Phillip Rivers, if people are not giving me that Drake Maye and Matthew Stafford are on the level. People don't, even though it makes sense to me, no one's buying it. I say, fine. I lay my cards down. How about Phillip Rivers, not even prime Phillip Rivers?
Yeah.
Right now. The guy almost won the game and beat the Seahawks.
Wilds. Point for the
Boom! I'm back!
Nice start. Heck of a start today. All right.
I'm just after Brew.
All right.
We're starting with the trade deadline. Anthony Davis headed to Washington. Here's some highlights. This is not. This is an Odin sweatshirt.
These are the highlights. From this season, that's all we got.
Not nice. Show some awesome Anthony Davis highlights. The Mavs trading AD, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum. Headed to Dallas, Chris Middleton, 3 other players, Marvin Bagley. And 5 picks, 2 firsts and 3 seconds. Brew, get your reaction. And I don't want to ruin the segment. I don't feel like this Luka thing worked out for Mavs or moving guys.
They were so lucky. In all seriousness, the fact that they were able to get Cooper Flag, they are so lucky. Because if it wasn't for that,
then
they might as well fold up the franchise.
Detonation.
Yeah,
Exactly
I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah.
So, look, this is just blah. I mean,
really?
I can't advocate a franchise building around or including Anthony Davis in like some serious, like this is who we are. We're going to make our run with Trae Young and Anthony Davis. Now, sure, if they would both be healthy, Trae's not even healthy right now. We know Anthony Davis isn't. That's what Dallas was going to do. And Anthony Davis has played 29 games since the Luka trade. 29. He hasn't played more than 57 games in like the last 5 or 6 years. And so he's a great player. He will be in the Hall of Fame, rightfully so. And he's not even that old. He's 32.
Correct.
But he is in his 14th season. And I don't understand why they would do this. And he's
Who's
locked
the
up
they?
Washington.
Okay.
I understand. I think Dallas was right to start shopping him, and I guess this is the best they could get. Now, initially, I looked at, they got some 5 draft picks to build around Cooper Flag and all that. But 2 of them, the first rounders are 20. This year's OKC, which is obviously going to be low. And then in 2030, Golden State's pick, which I guess could be okay.
Hold on.
But it's protected.
Top 20 protected.
Right.
KW.
It's
Top
protected.
20 protected. I didn't even know that was.
That's
top 19, I think, actually protected.
And then you got 3 second rounders. So
yeah.
I would have kept Anthony Davis and seen if I could get something better than it. Because all the players, the young players they don't even play much for Washington. And then you got Chris Middleton, who's probably getting bought out.
Yeah, and so
just,
KW, you said it on the front end. But now, we can do a final evaluation, assets in, assets out, because Luka was traded just like a year and 2 days ago. So they've traded away Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis, along with Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, and Dante Exum. They have gotten back Max Christie, Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson, Branham, Bagley, who was taken ahead of Luka in Luka's draft, and 3 firsts. Those firsts are, as Bruce said, OKC's this year, the Lakers in 29, which is a Lakers team that will have Luka Doncic on it, so I doubt it'll be drafting the top 5, and a heavily protected Warriors pick. It is obviously, the Luka trade was a disaster, but a sub-disaster is getting this little out of 1 year of Anthony Davis and then Anthony Davis on the trade market. To Bruce's point, the fact that you got no playoff run with Anthony Davis, the fact that by my reading of it, you are trading Anthony Davis when his value is, you got less for Anthony Davis, markedly less than the Grizzlies got for Triple J.
Yeah.
And so that's not good business.
Why would you do it now? Why the urgency? Why couldn't you do it in the summer?
I don't understand the Mavs, and I think Bruce's point is correct. They have Cooper Flag, and they're happy about that. And they got the lottery gods blessed them.
Sure.
And I truly, I said it a year ago, I'll say it again, I really have real sports empathy for Mavs fans because I feel like something was stolen from them, and they didn't deserve that. For Washington, I think this is a great move. So I disagree with you in this. Yeah, because to me, Brew, it is very little risk with potential very high upside. Like, I don't look at anything they traded away as something they're going to in 4 years be like, damn it. Like that's our version of trading away a young SGA, and now he's come back to be a league MVP. And
it's a lot of money you're going to have to pay Anthony Davis.
But it's a lot of money, but the Wizards are not known to sign huge free agents. And so now they have, I would argue, if you are going to have a team with Trae Young on it, you must have someone like Anthony Davis on it. And someone that can erase some of the defensive deficiencies. And so for next year, it makes the Wizards intriguing. And I like the fact that the Wizards are doing something that is not very in vogue for teams where the Wizards have been living the last few years, which is, what if we try to win some games?
Well, that would be nice.
And I think that, so I like that.
I like it if AD's healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he'll play at least half the season next year. So they'll look good in those games. Alex Sarr is a good young player, but
you guys are ruling out the idea that he's just there for a quick pit stop and might be headed somewhere else?
I'm not ruling it out, but it would be, if they flip him, I guess here's my point. I can't imagine the Washington Wizards, if they are offered the exact equivalent of what they just gave up for Anthony Davis, that they would trade Anthony Davis. If someone's like, hey, here's 4 guys we don't really play or care that much about, and 2 mediocre first-round picks for AD, I think they'd be like, that's outrageous. No one would trade Anthony Davis for that.
He doesn't fully fit. I mean, Trae is not a young player. I mean, he's...
No,
but I don't think he fits the timeline for them. Trae and then Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr is nice. He's 17 points, 8 rebounds a game this year, only his second year, 7-footer, 2 blocks a game. So I don't think AD even fits the timeline with them. Well, Trae should have a much longer career going forward if he's healthy. It's fine. I mean, they got better for sure. It's just an injury-prone star.
I kind of feel, I know how you said you have sports empathy for Mavs fans.
They're going to be all right.
Yeah, Mavs are fine.
Cooper Flag is the truth.
You just kind of attach yourself to Cooper Flag's journey. Yeah. I feel bad for AD. That you went from a champion to like, maybe we'll make a run with LeBron, to now I'm traded, now I'm in Washington.
Yeah, it's not like he asked out of L.A. So I understand that. He didn't ask out of the Lakers. They traded him for Luka without, him knowing it was coming, and to now be. So I understand that. I don't blame him for the injuries. His body is just not held up.
I mean, the last injury, it was like this.
Yeah.
And he dislocated a finger or whatever.
All right, he's almost missed. I think he's missed 29 games so far this year. All right, back to the Super Bowl. Drake Maye hasn't quite looked like himself this postseason. Great defenses, bad weather, nerves, injury, up for debate. Here are how the numbers shake out. Completion percentage, yards, passer rating, all way down. Wins, way up. He's undefeated. Has this postseason struggle changed how you view Drake Maye?
Not at all.
Oh, that's
not one iota. Because in the playoffs, it's about winning.
Oh, good.
Nick did his Super Bowl tiers or Mahomes mountain of quarterback performances in the Super Bowl. Peyton Manning, John Elway, and Ben Roethlisberger didn't even make it. What was it, the top 20?
Top 21.
So they didn't even make it in the top 21. And those are two of the arguably top 5 quarterbacks of all time, and all 3 of them are Hall of Famers. But nobody thinks about that. You just think they won multiple Super Bowls. Nobody holds it against Peyton Manning at all that he wasn't great, or Elway, that they weren't great in those Super Bowls. So this is about winning, number one. So I'm fine with that because he has won. Secondly, he has faced 3 top 10 defenses.
Yep.
I mean, very few quarterbacks can say they face that type of murderer's row, so to speak, defensively, and it's going to get even tougher in the Super Bowl. And unlike a lot of the guys, Nick, that have played poorly in the playoffs, he has at least countered a lot of his poor play. And really, it's just fumbles. I mean, he hasn't been as accurate and all that. But fine. Like I said, you're playing tough defenses. In Denver, at least, the weather was a problem. You've been under major duress from the pass rushes. But I think it's mainly been him fumbling the football. But what he's done is he has countered all of those mistakes with great plays. The highlight reel pass to Kayshon Boutte again in the second round against Houston for the touchdown. The runs against Denver. I mean, he literally won that game for them with his legs. So I get that he hasn't played as well as he did in the playoff or in the regular season, but I think he's shown moxie. He's shown that I can overcome adversity, that if I start poorly, I'm not going to melt as a young player. So I'm impressed with what he's done.
So, impressed is too far for me. It hasn't changed how I view him because while I didn't necessarily expect him to struggle to this degree, him struggling somewhat is what I expected. I think the person on the desk who would probably have changed how he viewed him the most is KW.
Yeah.
Because KW got very upset with us when we said before his first playoff game he might struggle.
I've never
seen it. Now I've seen it.
And going into his most recent playoff game, thought that he was going to light up the Denver defense, neither of which happened. But I also think we can be fair to the player without being patronizing. I'm saying you're being patronizing, and that the level of drop-off is bordering on unprecedented territory. It has not mattered, and if they win Sunday, it won't matter. But as far as passer rating or completion percentage from the regular season to the playoffs, here's what it looks like, where it's the second biggest drop in passer rating in a postseason in the last 30 years. Now, Peyton won the Super Bowl that year, to your point, so nobody cares. It is...
I mean, is it one part of that because you have to have kind of a pretty high passer rating to...
No, of course, right, yeah. I mean, that's right, but that's why it's a drop-off, right? I'm not saying it's the worst playoff performance of the last 30 years, but as far as a drop-off, it is from completion percentage, which, again, was one of his calling cards. It is the biggest drop-off ever. And this is of the last 30 years, the graphics, but it's the biggest drop-off ever.
And again, he had a really high...
But his playoff numbers, if they were regular season numbers, this is where they would rank. That's what it is. Well, I don't know why you're...
go ahead.
Where do they rank compared to other guys this play? Because he's out, and I get Stidham, who cares? He's outplayed all the quarterbacks he's faced, and 2 of them are big name guys.
Absolutely. So I don't... I guess I don't know where it is on these, because for those guys, for Herbert who played one game, whatever it is, go ahead, KW. You had a visceral reaction to this. It's just what the number... Tell me.
I don't know what Justin Herbert's completion percentage or passer rating was against the Patriots.
It was worse than this.
That's what I'm... Okay, and what C.J. Stroud...
It was worse than this.
Yeah, they were worse.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know. That just... I think it's an odd graphic.
And remember that was the second weekend of the playoffs. Bo Nix was the best quarterback. So we've seen a lot of bad quarterback performances in this playoffs.
I am not arguing he has been the worst quarterback in these playoffs. I am saying it is noteworthy that he has a worse completion percentage in these playoffs than any single quarterback had in the NFL all season. That it's worse than Shador's completion percentage. We're about to talk about him. I think it is noteworthy that a player who in 17 regular season games had 11 turnovers, in 3 playoff games has 5. I think it's noteworthy that a player that in 17 regular season games was not a super high fumble rate player, had 8 fumbles, in the playoffs has 6. It doesn't change how I view him, but I also think it is that it is not unfair or inaccurate to say a lot of the Patriots' success this postseason has been in spite of play from their quarterback. Now, he has had great moments.
I wouldn't say in spite.
But, well, I mean, I feel like
he's killing them.
I feel like they won the Chargers game and the Broncos game in spite of Drake Maye's play. I think that in those 2 games, do
they get that field goal, the game-winning field goal, without him? No.
No. Well, they don't score any points without him. But I think that I think that he was. And the EPA stuff that you guys sometimes back that up, that it's been overall, he has had a negative impact. It doesn't change how I view him, but I don't know how else to read.
It's just hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that he's had a negative impact.
Well, yeah, when you say in spite of, that's like saying he's been killing them, but they've still been able to win.
Well, I thought the Texans game, he made some grievous errors and some awesome plays that, to offset it, which is why I did not include that. I thought the Chargers game, he was bad. And I thought the Broncos game, everyone can acknowledge, he completed 40% of his passes and had 40 yards in the first half when the weather was perfect. I thought he was bad. I thought that the story of this playoff run so far has been brilliant defensive play. Vrabel's done great. He's had his moments. You seem stunned by what I'm saying. I don't know I don't know how you view his play.
I just think it's a little odd to compare playoff numbers and regular season numbers. Here's the counter. If he beats the Seattle Seahawks, he will be the only quarterback in the history of the NFL to beat 4 top 5 defenses. Right now, he's on this list with John Elway and Troy Aikman. He is one of 3 quarterbacks who have beaten 3 top 5 defenses. Elway beat 2, and then in the Super Bowl is 3rd. Same with Aikman in the Super Bowl. So he's trying to beat 4. So I know
those teams they had the bye, right? So those teams played. They were 3 for 3.
They already were hosting. Once they won their 3rd game, they were holding the trophy. Yeah. Drake has to beat 4. So we talk about hardest paths a lot. He will literally have the hardest path, not as a team necessarily, but for a quarterback going against the best defenses. No one's had a path this hard. I think combine that with the weather, we can throw it away, or we can say it's too big of a deal or not a big enough deal at all. Truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I think that affects it. So to me, I don't think he's played like an MVP, but I don't think he's been, a negative on the Patriots.
So I think you can give them credit for how difficult of a path this would be as far as defenses they've faced, while also saying what I'm saying, which is he's looked like they have played brutal defenses. Yeah. And I agree with Bruce's point that it doesn't change how I view him, but I think it is not an honest reflection of how I feel to sit here and say, I think Drake Maye, forget has played an MVP level, has played well these playoffs. I do not think Drake Maye has played well these playoffs. I think it is a remarkable testament to the Patriots as a whole that they have won these games and won 2 of them semi-comfortably. Yeah. Like it was close in the 4th quarter, but then they pulled away, despite the fact that their quarterback has not played well. And I don't think that that 5 touchdowns to 5 turnovers or 55% completion percentage, if you guys were bothered by the fact that I had where that would rank in the season, we can remove that from the graphic. I think that's self-explanatory to a quarterback that is struggling. And there might be a lot of reasons for it, but I think as a quarterback that is struggling, particularly throwing the football. I think he has been good running the ball when he hasn't fumbled.
Very good running the football.
And so that's, that's just how
I just think it's not in a vacuum. I mean, like Waz said, he's facing the best defenses in the league. He's literally facing the toughest run defense against defenses of any quarterback, like that we can think of.
Yes.
So he's also in his first playoffs. Tom Brady threw 1 touchdown, 1 interception in his first run to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
So
Elway, in that run, Elway had 3 total touchdowns in his 3 games.
yeah, he's got 4.
He had 3 against the Texans. So look, it's not supposed to be easy. If you're gonna,
Right.
you're 23 years old, you're going up against great defenses. You're not supposed to be putting up Jets type numbers again. All right, back to the NBA. If you want to collect James Harden jerseys, expensive habit. 36-year-old is now on his 6th team after a 2.5-year stint with the Clippers. The Cavs currently 8 games out of first behind the Pistons, Knicks, Celtics, and Raptors. But with this trade, odds shot up, and they are now favored to win the East, and their title odds are pretty good too. Did the Cavs get closer to winning a title?
Yes. They are better today than they were yesterday. All right, James Harden is better than Darius Garland. Darius Garland is hurt. He hadn't even been playing. So they're a better team, but I still think Detroit is the favorite to me in the East. New York is behind them. And then I think there's even a little gap. And then Cleveland, if you want to put them third. Like, they're not the favorite to me in the East. Now, they have a shot, but you do, obviously, not even the elephant in the room, James Harden's playoff performances.
Yeah.
And if you want to look at it like, which I guess Cleveland is, okay, Donovan's going to be our guy, and he's been good in the playoffs historically. And then Evan Mobley's going to be our big that's scoring. We need Harden to be a playmaker, yes, score some points, but be a playmaker, set up Jared Allen. If that's how you want to look at it, fine. I guess that's the smart way to do it. But I cannot, count on, you just can't count on James Harden. And it's really the big deciding games. It's the elimination games. It's the game 6s and 7s. He'll be great in game 1. He'll be great in game 4. But when that thing gets down to tipping point, that's when he struggles. And then there's this, Nick. Donovan Mitchell and Harden are both ball dominant. And so it can work because both can play off the ball when they want to, but that's just going to be an adjustment that they have to adjust to, particularly Mitchell playing with Harden. And, look, as long as Cleveland did not commit financially to Harden beyond next year, because I'm assuming that they're guaranteeing him all his $49 million in next season. Like with the Clippers, only $13 million was guaranteed. That's all they were willing to do. I assume the Cavs were like, okay, you'll get your full $49 million next year. If they went beyond that, Nick, then I'm like, because he's 36 already. He's not a great playoff performer. That's when I think it would be a mistake. But right now, if it's for a year or two, okay, take a shot.
Yeah, I'm just stunned they did this. I know I shouldn't have been because we saw it coming. I'm stunned they did it. Because I disagree with you, Brew. You can count on him in the playoffs. You know exactly what you're going to get from James Harden every postseason. And folks yesterday tried to sample size me. They were like, oh, you're going to, guy plays that many playoff games, you're picking out a handful.
You said 33.
All right, so, listen, we have 4 legendary guys that are old that are currently playing. Harden, LeBron, Steph, and KD.
It's going to get ugly.
And so here are total playoff games played for those guys. Just to give you a little context. LeBron obviously has played an insane amount, 290. But Steph, KD, and Harden are all right around the same, between 155 and 173. Same 4. How many times in their playoff career have they had a game with as many or more turnovers than made baskets? Harden 42 times. LeBron 17, Steph 13, KD 7. Okay.
Turnovers as made baskets.
As many or more turnovers than made baskets. 42 for James Harden. That's 1 in 4 career playoff games. All right. What about how many career playoff games with fewer than 5 made baskets? 55 for James Harden. That's 1 in 3. LeBron's at 9, Steph's at 8, KD's at 4. Again, this graphic is a really pro KD graphic. How about career playoff games with less than 4 made baskets? Harden's at 35. So 1 in 5 career playoff games for James Harden, he makes 0, 1, or 2 baskets. It's happened to LeBron 5 times ever. Steph 3 times ever, KD twice ever. And last but not least, what about playoff games with less than 3 made baskets? 22 for Harden, 2 for Bron, 1 for Steph, 0 for Durant. That we know what we're getting. And to Brew's point, we kind of know when we're getting it in the biggest spots. So good luck.
22 is wild.
No, it's yeah.
Good luck.
And the thing is, he can't even be your second guy in the playoffs.
No.
Because remember when KD and Harden was kind of on that bad hamstring against Milwaukee, all they needed was Harden to kind of be engaged and somewhat of a threat because KD was carrying him, and he couldn't even do that. Yep. Like he just kind of disappeared.
He's had Joel Embiid, he's had Kawhi.
He doesn't even take a lot of shots. Right. He has to be the third option at best. Yeah. I mean, or third option, that's the best chance you have of making it work. So Mobley, you got to step up too.
Pat Surtain played a great game against the Patriots, but I don't think he was too impressed and does not think New England has got much of a chance this Sunday.
Wow.
Yikes.
You know what? Seahawks. Just saying, he's played him. He's played against you.
It wasn't good, and it wasn't like it felt super flippant either. It's like, no, let me think about it, 35-7. He was debating 42.
Yeah.
All right. On the board, the Patriots get absolutely smoked in this one.
Yeah. It's on the board. I'm not predicting it, but it's definitely possible. You've got a high-powered offense and a stingy defense. I guess you could say that for the Pats too. But their quarterback has been playing better than Drake Maye. Even Drake, we think, is better, but Darnold's been playing better. Drake's been sacked 15 times. We have questions about at least parts of the offensive line for New England. Seattle can do it with the run with Kenneth Walker. I mean, even if he doesn't average a ton of yards per carry, he's going to wear a defense down. You got two great receivers for Darnold to throw to, and then a third one who's dangerous in Shaheed. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I don't see New England blowing Seattle out as really being on the board. I think winning is on the board. But I think for Seattle, a blowout is possible.
Yeah, in these games, anything is possible. I didn't think Kansas City was going to get blown out, and it happened. And the way that those games typically go is I could see if New England got down early by a substantial amount and they had to become one-dimensional where it was just a function of Drake Maye having to carry the team and then having to rely on the offensive line a lot more, not being able to keep as many guys as they want to in protection to chip and kind of help out and support it. And those games, usually they're not, I don't see this being out of hand from the first snap to where Seattle just controls the game. If it got out of hand, to me it would be they're down by 2 scores, they're trying to catch up and then turn, that type of sort of series of events. But they've lost by the most, 7 points this season? 2 games by 7, 1 game by 4?
Yeah, I didn't look up point differential, but everything, yes, Josh is saying right. We've never given up 30. Oh, no, 35. Josh scored 35 points, so we've never given up 35.
But even that game was a 4-point game, wasn't it? 35-31. Yeah. So, is it possible? Yeah. To me, does that prediction seem a little bit more like sour grapes? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, there was a little bit of
sour.
It's a little bit of a poker thing because of the sunglasses. I couldn't tell if his feelings were hurt, if it was real analysis.
I think it was a little sour grapes. I think it was a way of saying if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt, we're in this game.
I think they feel like we win if Bo Nix. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
Yeah,
They
they
can
can feel that way the rest of their life.
Right. Right. It doesn't matter, but that was my read on it as well.
All right, so this is how rare blowouts are, because I think we have in our mind the blowouts kind of stick out, but they are pretty rare. The last 25 Super Bowls, only 14 were decided by one score, only 6 two scores. 5 were decided by 3 scores, and 11 games were decided by 4 points or fewer, which is one of the reasons why I take some umbrage at the 4.5 point spread, because that gets up to, I don't know.
Well, so wait, but that
it just feels like 11.
But that means 14 of the last 25 were decided by more than 4 points.
Yeah, but those were mismatches. Look, to be fair,
Yeah.
I think if the Patriots getting blown out is on the board, I think it should be on the board that the Patriots blow out the Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't see that being the case too. If they get up early and Darnold has to.
That's the thing. It's just like,
Go
I don't
either
think
way.
Mahomes is going to get blown out, but you fall down, you make one mistake, and then, and I like this from Mahomes, not to dig up last year's Super Bowl. Like, there's no difference between losing by 1 and losing. I'm going to try to win the game. I'm not going to try to, like, save face.
The only difference is that then you get made fun of for 9 months for stat padding.
I have.
I mean, that's the difference. The difference is when you keep trying.
Yes.
The people.
Well, at that point, once the Gatorade starts flowing, it's out of hand. But it's just pressure. If like Drake's dropping the ball, Will Campbell's like letting guys get to him, it's on the board. And if Milton Williams gets to him, like he got to Mahomes, the other side's on the board.
So that's why I'm not picking a blowout. But if you tell me this is this is a 1 point win, I think it's a coin flip on who wins that game. I think Seattle win half of those. A 3 point win. I think it's 6 of those games would go to Seattle, 4 would go to New England. If you tell me on Monday we're talking about a 21 point win, I think 8 of those go to Seattle and 2 go to New England. So because Super Bowl blowouts used to happen all the time. They don't, to your point, they don't so much anymore. And when they've happened, they have all had one thing in common: an offensive line getting annihilated.
Yeah.
That's the last 4 Super Bowl blowouts. Both times it happened to the Chiefs. Their offensive line got annihilated. Von Miller had one of the greatest single games any player's ever had in NFL history in the Carolina Super Bowl, and he just beat up the poor right tackle for Carolina the entire game. And Seattle-Denver, that first play of the game's a bad snap over Peyton's head, a safety, and that Seattle, wasn't just the defensive front, it was really the defense as a whole. And I just think New England is way more susceptible to Seattle's defensive front wrecking the game than Seattle's offensive line is susceptible to New England's defensive front wrecking the game. And now, Dust, if we can bring back the graphic from the A block that enraged Wilds for one of my favorite first things first traditions, which is if Coach agrees with a point that I made, Wilds all of a sudden agrees with it as well.
I'll go with the flow.
Here is the other reason that I think the Patriots getting blown out's on the board. This is how Drake Maye is playing this postseason. I went out on a limb.
What are those ranks, though?
If that was his regular season numbers, where they would rank in the league.
Yeah, that's what we say.
You're on the podcast. Coach pursed his lips and turned his head sideways as he was drinking bad wine.
Here's what I think is unfair about this. You put any quarterback in the league against the 3 defenses that he just faced in back-to-back-to-back games, I would imagine their numbers would not look very good. Like, who's he? Give me some notable guys he's behind that you think is going to go play those 3 teams and have better numbers, significantly better numbers than Drake Maye has.
So maybe this is a L for me because you had the same reaction that they did, which is paying more attention to the right-hand column than the left-hand column. So that's maybe my mistake graphically. The larger point that I'm trying to make is, and that I feel strongly about, and I think you agree with me on, I do not think Drake Maye has played well this postseason. And I think that going into the difference between Darnold, who we all some percentage of our brain is worried about Darnold laying an egg, his mindset going into it saying, yeah, I just played the single greatest game of my life, versus Drake Maye, who's for the first time all season is in a stretch of tough results, tough play, to the point where in the fourth quarter on the sideline, he's getting coached up by Josh McDaniels, which might be a great coaching moment, but it showed that Drake Maye was like down on himself about how he was playing in that game. I think the quarterback in this game who is more likely to have something snowball on them is the young quarterback who's playing poorly, rather than the veteran quarterback who's coming off the best game of his life.
That's quite a reputational turn for Darnold if you feel like that.
Which defenses did Darnold beat?
A banged up San Francisco.
San Francisco and the Rams.
And what's the common denominator of both those defenses? How many times did he play San Francisco? How many times did he play the Rams? So you talk about ultimate familiarity with a defense. So he goes into that, and it's game 3 against both those teams. He hasn't seen this. This is a radically different thing. Where Drake Maye, did he play any of those defenses during the regular season?
No.
Aren't all 3 of those defenses brand new? So they faced 3 totally different schemes. Where Sam Darnold had I'm just saying he had the benefit of literally 2 games leading up to his 3rd game of absolute familiarity. Now he's got to figure out where are these players going to be, what's their pattern. It's not like he understands those players in that scheme the same way he does facing a team.
To me, that's totally fair and totally accurate, and one of the reasons to believe Darnold is not going to have, and I don't think anybody thinks Darnold's going to have the level of success against the Patriots he had against the Rams. But it's also a reason to think Drake Maye might have the exact level of whatever success he's had against the Seattle, because it's a new opponent and it's another great defense. So that's my,
I think that's the question. Have these 3 games calloused him to some extent, and has Will Campbell gotten healthier and Josh McDaniels figured something out? Or is it just going to be more of the same, I struggle against this cover 6 and all these other things that people have figured out about the Patriots?
Well, there is some benefit to having the extra week of preparation. I think that helps from not just a coordinator perspective, but from a player perspective too, because 1 week, you're familiar with the opponent, but it's like cramming for a test. Even though that's the pattern during the regular season, you're even trying to get more tape in because it's the playoffs. But now with the 2nd week, it does, I think, help from a preparation standpoint. So I imagine he should be better, and it just depends on how many different things Seattle is going to do, or is Seattle of the mindset of, we do what we do, can you beat us? Where New England, to me, is more of the mindset of, we do what we need to do to beat you. So it's a little different.
And they've had success against Darnold.
Where?
Don't try too hard.
Okay.
Don't try.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.